everyone. Summer is here. My tan is great. Can't say the same for Forrest, but we're back with another installment of UFC Rankings Report. Forrest, please remind us, how do the rankings get decided again?
Well, we just make random numbers up. No, each week a panel of highly respected and possibly even well-regarded journalists rank the best fighters pound for pound and then by weight class.
Yeah, well, we had a weekend off, which was very nice. So today we're talking about the rankings that came out last week, but things definitely got shaken up. So let's dive right on in there. UFC 225 was absolutely stacked from top to bottom. And the main event rematch certainly did not disappoint. It was a crazy 5-rounder, but Robert Whittaker yet again defeated Yoel Romero. And with that fight of the night performance, Whittaker moves up 2 spots on the pound-for-pound list to number 11. Of course, there's a lot to talk about with this fight, but first off, let's talk about the fight itself because it was insane. What are your thoughts there, Robert Whittaker coming back from an 11-month layoff?
Well, it was a great fight. It was great to see him back. So now he can get ready for another layoff. He broke his hand in that fight. You know, it could have been a draw, but I'm comfortable with Whittaker winning. Unfortunately for Whittaker, I kind of do want to see this a third time.
Yeah.
I still feel like we need to keep fighting.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love the matchup, but this is something that I know you're going to have an opinion on. Do you believe Yoel Romero stays at 185, or do you think he goes to 205?
I think he can stay at 185. He's not that big of a guy.
He doesn't need to be as big as he is. He wrestled, I think he wrestled in the Olympics at like 197. So, again, that's day of weigh-ins at 197.
Right.
So you can make that weight.
Well, let's talk about the co-main event because it was the man who loved the microphone. He backed it up inside the octagon. That's Colby Covington. He became the UFC interim welterweight champion. It made Covington move up 3 spots to number 1 at welterweight because he is the interim champ. He had a unanimous decision victory over Rafael dos Anjos, who fell 2 spots to number 3. This means that they will unify Colby's belt with Tyron Woodley's belt. Talk to me about this champ versus champ matchup.
I actually think this is a really good fight.
I agree.
I mean, I know there's some backstory and that they've worked out together and wrestled together. And I mean, I know like Covington was even on Woodley's couch for a while. And they, you know, so I think this could be a really good fight. And I'm not gonna lie, as much as Colby Covington's whole gimmick irritates me, I'm kind of interested. People are talking about it. I want to see this fight. I want to see if Covington if he can kind of impose that pace and put that pressure on a guy that has one punch stopping power in Woodley, right? So it's hard to pressure a guy that can stop you with one shot.
Well, let's talk about another card that had a great main event. That was in Utica. A couple of bantamweights stepped into the octagon there in the main event. And it was over in less than a minute when Marlon Moraes TKO'd Jimmy Rivera in round number 1, just 33 seconds into the fight. Moraes, of course, scored Performance of the Night bonus and moved up 1 spot to number 4 at 135 pounds, while Rivera moved down 1 spot to number 5. These two didn't like each other before, one bit, but Moraes got it done quickly, stopping Rivera's unbeaten streak. Where do you believe each of them goes from here? Because there's a lot of really interesting matchups at 135.
Me personally, I still want to see the Marlon Moraes-Jimmy Rivera fight. I didn't feel like I got to see it.
All right.
I saw an amazing, kick, but I think that could be a really interesting matchup that could go like 15 minutes.
What do you think about Marlon possibly facing a Dominic Cruz?
Yeah, I mean, he's there. He's already shown us that he's ready for that. So his last 2 fights, I think, was like knock the guys out in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what gets you in title contention.
Well, let's talk about what's coming in the future because there's so much to look forward to, including UFC Fight Pass card from Singapore, aka one of the greatest places on earth, let me tell you. Well, let's talk about the main event between Cowboy Donald Cerrone, who's ranked number 11, and Leon Edwards, who's ranked number 13. This one really flying under the radar, but it has all the makings of a potentially great welterweight matchup. Is a win over Cowboy Leon Edwards' potential coming out party?
I was actually going to use those words, coming out party. I think this is his ticket to the top 10 and perhaps even the top 5. Leon Edwards, young guy, he's only 26. He's been fighting in the UFC for a while, so for him, this is a big fight.
Well, this will be a really fun main event. That one, again, is on UFC Fight Pass, so fire up your accounts. The Saturday night special during International Fight Week is the highly anticipated UFC 226 card. Francis the Predator Ngannou is ranked number 1 in the heavyweight division, and Derek the Black Beast Lewis, who's ranked number 5.
The Beast.
First question, I'm going to give you a softball. Does it go all 3?
I'm going to say no again. I said that the Stipe Ngannou fight wouldn't go 5. wrong about that, but no, this will not go all three. I'm doubling down. I think they're going to punch at each other and see who moves backwards first and who gets knocked out or stopped.
All right, that one's going to be really fun. Then we've got the first of two title fights, one that I'm certainly looking forward to between the champion Max Blessed Holloway and Brian T-City Ortega. Brian is the true #1 contender. This could go so many ways.
Yes, so we've actually been talking about this fight for a really long time. I think if I'm Brian Ortega, I want to push it to the ground a little bit. If there's anywhere Max is not strong, it's on his back. Both these guys have tremendous heart, aka conditioning, good chins, good discipline. It's going to be a hell of a fight.
Great fight IQs as well. This one's
That's why we wanted to talk about it. It's because it's exciting. If that fight doesn't get you excited, why are you even watching this show?
Right. But keep watching it, though.
Yeah,
Don't end it right now. And then to top it off, we've got a super fight that should be super fun. Stipe Miocic is the heavyweight champion of the world. He's taking on Daniel DC Cormier, who is the champion at light heavyweight. He's ranked #5 on the pound-for-pound list. He's coming up to heavyweight to challenge the baddest man on the planet. You saw them coach against one another at Tough. They're actually very good friends. Let's start with Stipe. Should he defend the belt there? What does he do after this fight?
So for him, it's not as big of a deal. There's a lot of heavyweight threats that are coming, you know?
Sure.
For DC, it would just be huge. It'd be potentially his ride off into the sunset.
So we started thinking about other super fights we'd like to see. Per usual, Forrest came up with some creative suggestions. But I'll keep the suspense growing and start with mine, Yoel Romero versus Daniel Cormier.
That is a great idea.
Yoel is a big guy. I don't think would have any problems.
He in 205.
Yeah, he'd probably have to cut weight to make 205,
he would.
I'm sure.
He would.
And with their wrestling pedigrees and their striking abilities, I think this would be a really fun matchup. I don't know if we call it a super fight because Yoel is not currently a champion, but I still think it's a fight that's really appealing.
Super fight.
Thanks. Why don't you share yours?
2008 BJ Penn Prime at 155 against champion Max Holloway currently for the island of Hawaii, for the whole thing. Winner gets literally Hawaii, all 9 islands. Is it 9 or 7? No, it's 7, 8. We're the 9th island. Las Vegas, the 9th island. That's the...
Yeah. All right, well, in my next matchup, I do have Max Holloway, but it's not for any sort of territory. It's just for pride. I'd like to see him versus Khabib because I think with Max's boxing abilities and Khabib's wrestling abilities, that could be a super fun fight. I think they have a lot of respect for one another, and I think that it has the potential to be an incredible super fight between two very talented fighters who are known for their different abilities in terms of their mixed martial arts skills.
The super fight, in my opinion, would be Colby Covington versus Francis Ngannou. Because Covington's obviously ducking Mauricio Verdum, it's like he doesn't want to fight people 60 pounds heavier than him. What a wimp.
Oh, man, yeah. Anyway, on that note, we appreciate you tuning in and get hyped up for UFC Singapore and then, of course, UFC 226 and the Ultimate Fighter finale. Lots of great cards in the future, and Forrest and I will be here to break them all down for you.
I am so excited. My sweat is like at a clinical proportion. Like it is like I want to go to the doctor because I cannot. This is just disgusting.
We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.